Hello and welcome. Today, we're going to dive deep into 4 incredibly powerful verses from the Bhagavad Gita. These verses really get to the heart of how we can learn to tell the difference between our temporary day-to-day experiences and our true eternal nature. So let's start with our destination. This profound statement describes a state of perfect balance, a kind of unshakable steadiness that literally opens the door to ultimate freedom. The big question is, how do we get there? Well, the Gita lays out a step-by-step guide, and it all begins with how we see the world around us. All right, so our journey starts with verse 14. This one tackles probably the most fundamental challenge we all face in life. How to deal with the constant ups and downs, the happiness and the pain that just seem to define our entire existence. From the Bhagavad Gita, chapter 2, verse 14. Matra sparshastu konteya shitoshna sukhadukada agamapayino anityas tam stitik shasvabharata. So right here, Lord Krishna is giving Arjuna, and really all of us, a absolutely crucial piece of advice. He's saying that all these feelings, the good ones and the bad ones, they're not permanent. They're not who you are. They simply come and go, just like the seasons change. This analogy is so perfect. Think about it. We don't just stop our lives because it's cold in the winter or hot in the summer. We adapt, right? We put on a coat, we turn on the AC, and we carry on with our duties. The advice here is to treat our emotional highs and lows the exact same way. The instruction is to tolerate them, to endure them, without letting them completely throw us off our path. This is really the first big step toward genuine wisdom. Okay, so let's say we manage to do that. We learn to tolerate this duality. What's the payoff? What happens next? Well, the very next verse describes the incredible reward you get for reaching this state of inner balance. Chapter 2, verse 15. Yam hi nivyathayanti ete purusham purusharshabha samadukha sukham dhiram somrita tvaya kalpate. And here we are, right back to that incredible statement from the beginning. See, it's not about trying to avoid pain or constantly chasing pleasure. It's about becoming so steady, so centered, that neither one can knock you off balance. This state of mind, this equanimity, is the actual qualification for immortality, for liberation from this whole cycle of birth and death. So the key word here is dhiram, which means being patient and steady. A person who is dhiram understands that life's challenges, when you tolerate them for a higher spiritual reason, aren't just obstacles. They're the very things that help you achieve freedom. It's a total shift in perspective, isn't it? You go from seeing problems as roadblocks to seeing them as stepping stones. But you might be wondering, why? Why should we be unconcerned with these fleeting feelings of happiness and distress? What's the philosophical foundation for all this? Well, the 16th verse gives us the answer. And it does it by drawing a very clear line in the sand between what's temporary and what's eternal. Chapter 2, verse 16. Na sato vidyate bhavo, na bhavo vidyate sataha, ubhayor api drishtor antas twaneyor tatvadarshibhi. Now this is a total game changer. The seers of truth, the ones who have really studied the nature of reality, came to this incredible conclusion. The things that are temporary, like our physical bodies and all the sensations they feel, they have no real, lasting existence. But the things that are eternal, like the soul, well, the soul never changes and it never, ever stops existing. This lays it out so clearly. You have these two different natures. On one side, there's the body, which is called asat, meaning it's temporary. It's not the real you. It's constantly changing. It gets old, it gets sick. On the other side, you have the soul, sat, which is eternal. It's permanent, it's unchanging, and it's our true self. Almost all our suffering comes from mixing these two up, from thinking we're the temporary body instead of the eternal soul. So what is this eternal soul? And how can we even be sure it's really there? This final verse we're looking at today makes its nature and its presence perfectly, beautifully clear. Chapter 2, verse 17. Avinashi tu tat vidhi, yena sarvam idam tatam, vinasham avyayasyasya, na kashit kartamarhati. Wow. Just take a moment to let that sink in. It's such a deeply reassuring and empowering idea, isn't it? There is something inside you, pervading your entire being, that is absolutely indestructible. It can't be cut, it can't be burned, it cannot be destroyed by anything. That is your true self. So, how do we perceive it? It's not like you can see it with your eyes, right? Well, the text explains that while the soul itself is atomic, it's tiny, and it's situated in the heart, its influence spreads throughout the entire body. And how do we feel that influence? We feel it as consciousness. Your very ability to be aware, to feel joy and pain, to listen to this right now, that awareness is the direct symptom, the proof that the soul is present. Think about it. A body without consciousness is just inert matter. Consciousness is the proof of life, and it's the proof of the soul. So let's just pull all of these threads together. These 4 verses have taken us on a really remarkable journey, from very practical advice to some incredibly profound truths. Think about the flow here. We start with a simple practical instruction. Learn to tolerate life's dualities. Why should we do that? Because achieving that inner steadiness makes us eligible for the highest possible goal, liberation. And how is that even possible? It's possible because we are not our temporary bodies or our fleeting emotions. We are the eternal, indestructible spirit soul. And the proof is right here, right now. It's the very consciousness that's allowing you to hear and understand these words. And this leaves us with one final huge question to reflect on. If you are an eternal, indestructible being who is just having a temporary human experience, what changes? What does that really mean for how you live your life, starting today? Thank you so much for watching. Gyan Kosh is a multilingual channel where we share spiritual wisdom in English, Hindi, Marathi, and Tamil. And we've got more major languages coming very soon. Our whole goal is to bring you the timeless treasures of Sanatan Dharma in a way that's simple, clear, and really meaningful. On our channel, you'll find daily videos covering everything from the Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita to the Mahabharata, Lalita Sahasranam, Devathan Karal, and the Saints of Maharashtra, all available in multiple languages. If you find our content valuable, please subscribe to Gyan Kosh so you'll get notified about our daily videos. And don't forget to like, share, and spread this divine knowledge with your family, your friends, and your community. Let's work together to keep the light of Sanatan Dharma shining bright.